Hi everyone, Namaskar and welcome to Curries with Boombi. Before anything, let me first wish all my viewers and subscribers a very happy new year. Today I will be showing how to make a perfect lasagna, but instead of beef, I will be making it with chicken. Lasagna is an all-time favorite in my family, and the best thing about it is that it's a meal by itself. So let's get started. We will first make the white sauce, or a béchamel to be more precise. Now if ricotta cheese is available where you live, then you can skip this step entirely. But today I want to show you using a white sauce. Heat a pan over medium heat. I need butter. As soon as the butter melts, add plain flour. Stir the flour along with the butter. What I am doing here is what is known as a roux. You need to cook that flour or else your white sauce will taste chalky and horrible. So stir for a few minutes. As soon as you see it is changing its color from white to a pale brown, then it's time to add the milk. Now you need a whisk for this. A whisk really does wonders here, my friends. With one hand add the milk, and with your other hand whisk the flour continuously. Add the milk a little at a time and whisk vigorously. If you add the milk all in one go, then you cannot get rid of the lumps. In this way you will be getting a smooth white sauce. I always use cold milk while making my white sauce. According to me, a hot roux and cold milk always makes a smooth white sauce. Here I am done adding all the milk. Next I will be adding some ground nutmeg. Try to sprinkle the nutmeg powder. If you add it all in one place, chances are it will form a lump and then it will not mix very well. Then salt. Do not add too much salt as we will be adding cheese to this, and cheese is already salty. Some white pepper. You can even use black pepper. Simmer it on medium heat and let the sauce thicken up. Now how will you know the sauce has reached the desired level of thickness? Dip a spoon in the sauce and the sauce should coat the back of your spoon like this. Then if you run your finger on it, it should leave a clear line like this with the sauce staying on the other sides of the line. This is when you know that your sauce is done. You can now take it off heat. Here I have a cup of Muenster cheese. Sorry if I am pronouncing it in a wrong way. You can use any good melting cheese. For the cheese also add a little at first, mix well and then add the rest. I always add the cheese off heat as cheese has a tendency to turn rubbery on getting high heat. Now let's make the red sauce. Heat oil over medium-high heat. Once the oil turns hot, add the ground chicken. Break up the lumps with the back of your spoon as much possible. Stir till all that water that comes out from the chicken almost dries up. Then add finely chopped onion. Stir for a few minutes. Next comes chopped garlic. Now time for the seasonings: salt and black pepper. I also like using some red chili flakes. You can even add red chili powder. Now time for the tomatoes. Here I blended some fresh tomatoes in my blender and passed them through a strainer to get a smooth puree. Then comes store-bought tomato puree. Then I added some water to get all the tomato goodness till the last bit. I also need some Italian seasoning and dried parsley as I do not have fresh ones today. This is totally optional. You can even use any kind of pasta sauce instead of tomato puree or tomato sauce, or maybe crushed tomatoes that comes in those cans. But please my friends, do not use tomato ketchup. Once the sauce starts to bubble, cover it and keep it covered on low heat for about an hour. In the meantime, let's cook the lasagna sheets. Allow a large pot of water to come up to a boil. Add a generous amount of salt to it and little oil. I never add oil while boiling my pasta, but when I boil lasagna sheets, I do add oil so that the sheets do not stick to each other. Add the sheets to the boiling water. Do not worry, they will slip down into the water as they soften down. I like to loosen up the sheets from time to time so that they don't stick to each other. Follow the package directions to cook your lasagna sheets. My ones needed 8 minutes to cook. Do not cook them too soft as we will be putting them again in the oven. Drain them once they are done and rinse them a little bit to stop that cooking process. Then take a large plate or tray, apply little oil and spread out the sheets. In this way they won't get stuck to each other. Let's check on the sauce now. It has thickened up quite a bit. Increase the heat if you want to thicken up more. Do a taste test at this point to check the seasonings. I think it needs a little bit of sweetness, so I added a little bit of sugar to balance the flavor. Finally, some freshness to the sauce, some coriander leaves. Usually basil leaves or parsley is added, but I love the flavor of coriander leaves. If you are an Italian or somebody from Greece and watching this video, then please excuse me for this unusual inclusion of coriander leaves. Now coming to the final layering, take an oven-proof dish or tray. Apply some oil as you do not want the sheets to stick to the pan. Spoon out some red sauce to coat the bottom of the pan. Lay out the sheets one by one, with the edge of one sheet overlapping the edge of the other sheet a little bit. Next comes the white sauce. Spread it out liberally, covering the sheets. Then the red sauce. And finally, grated cheese. I am using cheddar. You can definitely use mozzarella or any good melting cheese. Then again repeat the next layer, the pasta, the white sauce, then the red sauce, and again the cheese. I did 3 layers, you can even do 2. So this is my final layer. I had some leftover sheets, so I cut them and spread them as well on top. Then again some white sauce, then red sauce, and finally I topped it with whatever cheddar cheese was left and a good amount of Parmesan cheese. You do not have to add Parmesan, but see to it that the top is all covered by whatever cheese you are using. Next, take an aluminum foil, spray it very well with oil, so that no cheese sticks to it. I mean, come on, who wants all that cheesy goodness to get stuck onto the aluminum foil? Put your lasagna in a preheated oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, take it out from the oven, pull off the foil, and bake it again without the cover for 20 more minutes. Here I would suggest you to place a tray or plate under your baking dish, as sometimes the cheese becomes too bubbly and the sauce spills over. I forgot to do this and then had to clean up the mess. After 20 minutes, take out your lasagna from the oven and let it sit for at least 15 minutes before serving, so that all the layers have time to set in. My family didn't have the patience to wait even for a minute once it came out of the oven, but I will highly suggest you to give it some standing time. Please check out many other delicious pasta recipes on my channel, and if you are new here, please consider subscribing so that I can bring more recipes for you. Eat healthy and stay healthy. Bye bye.